You're listening to the 49 Carats Podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Podcast. I'm doing this one solo dolo because there's something that popped up today that I think is worth discussing. Had you asked me last night if it was worth discussing, I probably would have said no. But today I'm feeling a little different. There's some things I just feel like need to be said. So first, before I go into anything else, I just want to recap what's going on with Deebo. I'm first just going to recap a little bit of that. So it all started last night when someone noticed, I don't know how, but someone noticed that Deebo Samuel had unfollowed the 49ers on Instagram. Okay. And there's some who say that Deebo never followed them to begin with. I don't know. I don't keep tabs on, players' Instagrams like that, but I don't know. That's just what some people say. But that's not the only thing. So that's the one thing that to me wasn't a big deal. Like, okay, he unfollowed the 49ers Instagram account. Like, who cares? But then what became interesting was that this morning he kind of doubled down. He removed his profile picture. You'll see here on the top right, for the people watching on video, Deebo Samuel's Instagram profile picture was a fan edit of him in his 49ers jersey, right? And so he removed it this morning. It is now just a black circle, pretty much. And not just that, he also removed several pictures of him, pretty much all the pictures of him in his 49ers jersey. And there were about, I think someone mentioned it was about 60 or 80 pictures that he removed. And really quickly, before I go into anything else, I understand there is a distinction between archiving a picture on Instagram and deleting pictures off of Instagram. At this moment, we don't know which one it is, right? I think it's safe to assume that it is probably him archiving them, right? And so when you archive them, it doesn't show up on your account, but they're still there. Like, he can still see them. He can still pull them back up and have them show up again. If I had to assume, I think that's what he probably is doing. But so this might be something now that he's done that. And it's now gone beyond just the circle of 49ers Twitter. Ari from NFL Sports Update posted about it. Ian Rappaport posted about it. Peter Scraggs from I forgot what show he's on, the Good Morning one on NFL Network. He was on Pat McAfee's show podcast this morning, and I wanted to just post what he said or share it here. He's pretty connected with the 49ers, I would say, more so than others. So I'm just going to share that really quick.
I think he's upset, and I think the Niners, they don't give money out, and Kittle had to wait, and other guys had to wait, and Jimmy's still on the salary cap right now for $25 million. So I don't think Deebo's getting it. Just like I said with Kyler, they're not getting it when they want it. They're going to get it when the team wants it.
Come to Indianapolis, Deebo.
New England, Green Bay, baby.
All right, so a couple things about what he said that I think were interesting. One, he said, I think Deebo is upset. I mean, I think we could have all gathered that just based on some of the things that have happened. And another thing, he mentioned that the 49ers don't just, give money away. I think that's what he said. But yeah, and he pointed out Kittle had to also wait. And then so those are all things that are true. And that could be something that's happening in negotiations that he's not very happy with. Should we be worried, though? Should we be worried that Deebo has scrubbed the 49ers of his Instagram? I'm going to say no, I don't think so. I think it's all part of negotiation, and, this is all very common things that might happen. I mean, it's obvious he is upset, but, he might have a right to be upset, right? And it doesn't mean that he's going to be upset forever. Your girlfriend removes pictures of you guys when you fucked up and you made her angry. It doesn't mean that she's going to break up with you or that you guys are going to break up. It doesn't mean that she's going to cheat on you. So I don't think any of this means that Deebo Samuel is going to be traded. I don't think any of this means that the 49ers aren't going to extend him. I still think that is the plan. But like I said, it's all part of negotiation. Kittle just went through this. And, honestly, we don't know if Kittle ever got upset at one point or another in his negotiation. He didn't change anything about his social media accounts that would let us know that. We are in some new times where, people are able to show their emotion through actions on social media, right? Like we just saw Kyler Murray do the same thing. And so, I think it's just a form of expression at the moment for Deebo Samuel. He could be trying to get the 49ers attention in some form. But I want to go back to what I think is the root cause of all this. And that is the fact that Deebo is upset with the 49ers. And so why is he upset? Why might that be? Like, what did the 49ers do to piss him off? Do they not want to extend him? Like, what's going on? And like I said, I do still think the 49ers want to extend him, but, they want to do it at their price. And Peter Scraggs kind of alluded to that a bit as well. And also not just the right price, but at the right time. And it might not be at the price that Deebo wants it. It might not be at the time that Deebo wants it. Maybe Deebo wants his extension to happen ASAP, like right now. Maybe he wants more guaranteed money than the 49ers are willing to give right now. But like I said, it's all part of negotiations. I think this is all very common things that happen. And, it's not something that we always are able to see. Not a lot of players are vocal about, their dissatisfaction in negotiations. But I'm sure at one point or another, a player is like, man, really? Like, you're going to give me that? You're going to give me that offer? And the talks are ongoing. It's not an end all be all. And another thing I wanted to talk about, I did post a tweet. Really quickly. I had a comment. What's up, Steph? Where's Angie? Haven't seen her in a while. Angie, she got a new opportunity. She got a new job. And so she is not able to participate in the podcast anymore at this moment. So it's just me, solo dolo. And I will say that I do plan to have guest hosts most episodes. This one was just kind of a quick live stream. So no guest host this time, but yeah, we miss Angie. But if you guys catch her on NBC Authentic, she posts a lot of articles and just content for them. So we are rooting for her. Going back to the tweet that I posted, I said that the 49ers weren't always hot on the idea of extending Deebo Samuel. And I wanted to elaborate on what I meant by that. I think it was March in 2021. So before this season that just passed, Ben Albright was on Niners Nation podcast. And this is what he said. I actually have a clip of it right here. Listen to what he said.
Contract type players rather than just one contract players.
Any idea why Deebo wouldn't be around for another contract?
Not anything I want to get into here.
Say no more. Just know that this headline is going to be Benjamin Albright reports the 49ers move on.
And they may bring him back on a second contract. I would suggest that coaching staff is a little cooler on him than the media.
Interesting. We're recording this, right?
We are.
Okay, so Ben Albright, March 2021, on Niners Nation podcast said, 49ers are cooler on Deebo Samuel than the media. And as you heard there, he was suggesting that Deebo Samuel might not get extended. Of course, that was before the incredible season that Deebo just had. And so a lot could have changed between then and now. And I'm sure a lot did for the 49ers. I do still think, like I said, I do think that they want to extend him ultimately. But again, if they had their doubts before this last season that just happened, um, do you really think that this one season made all those doubts go away? And by the way, just some of the concerns that I've heard that they had with Deebo Samuel, which Ben Albright did not really want to get into. I've heard that there were some weight concerns, like he would come into camp, or he came into camp out of shape. I think that was the prior camp, not the one that just happened, but the one before then. So they had some concerns about him. And so if you're the 49ers, again, did this season that he just had, although it was an amazing season by Deebo Samuel, does that make all your concerns go away? I mean, when you're thinking about locking a player up for, 4 more years, you want to be sure that it's going to be an investment that's worth your while. And you want to make sure that you're using your money wisely. So, I mean, I think if you're the 49ers, you might want to wait. And another point, to add to that point, the 49ers usually wait to do their extensions towards the beginning of training camp. Like they do it before the season or around that time. We saw that with Fred Warner. We saw it with George Kittle. And so I think the general timeline is around then, and we probably see the same for Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel if a deal is able to get done. So again, do the 49ers want to wait and Deebo wants a deal now? Because we just finished seeing a bunch of wide receivers get extended this offseason. And, Deebo's probably thinking, well, where's my check? So I don't know, but the 49ers might want to wait. And I think they might want to wait another season. They might, the way I see it, because they had concerns, if they're not fully convinced that they should give all this money to Deebo Samuel, who is probably asking for more than they're willing. Maybe it's on the guaranteed money, not sure. But I think for the 49ers, from a business standpoint, it makes more sense for them to wait maybe another season to see if he can replicate that same production. Now, I'm not saying that Deebo was not a great player before last season. He absolutely was. The issue was he wasn't always on the field. And I'm not saying that he's injury prone, but I'm just saying that along with all the other concerns that they had with him before last season, those are all things you have to take into account. And at the end of the day, these players, when you're looking at extending them, they're investments. And when you're making a big investment as big as, a wide receiver contract, you have to consider everything. And that's not a slight to Deebo Samuel. It's just the way the business works. And Deebo Samuel might feel slighted about it. But that's just how it goes. And again, I don't think there should be any concern about the negotiations at this time. It's still really early. A deal could still get done, and none of this matters. So at the end of the day, I think, we'll continue to monitor the situation, but I don't think it's any real reason to lose sleep, So we'll keep tabs on it. And in case you guys didn't know what side I'm on, I'm wearing my Deebo jersey right now. I do want the 49ers to extend Deebo Samuel. As a fan, I don't think there's any 49ers fan that doesn't want the 49ers to extend him. But at the same time, you have to detach yourself from like your emotional fandom and think about it from the 49ers perspective and the business side of it. So, they might be playing hardball a little bit. I don't know. Obviously, they did something that upset Deebo Samuel. So if I had a guess, it has to do with, the negotiations. But again, this is just how it goes. So really, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about with Deebo. I think I pretty much went through all the points that I wanted to make. And if you guys have any questions, hop on YouTube and shoot me some questions, and I can stay on and answer them for a bit. If not, I'll probably just call it now. Let's see if we get any. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. If you're tuning in now, I made most of my points, but basically I said that there shouldn't be a huge worry about Deebo Samuel. I think it's obvious that he's upset about something, but at the end of the day, it's all part of negotiations, and there's still a lot of time to go to get this done. So don't lose hope. Don't freak out. It doesn't mean that he's going to get traded. It doesn't mean that he's not going to be extended. Ryan Johnson. What's up, Ryan? He asked, do you know anything about M. Johnson, the new wide receiver? I think his name is Marcus Johnson. And as far as I know, he came from the Titans. I think that was the last team he was on. And based on what I've seen, I haven't seen too much of him as far as his play, but from what I've seen from other people, they've said that he's a speedy receiver. And honestly, I think it'll be more so a depth signing for them. They need bodies going into camp and the voluntary program. So I think this is one of those signings. It could be like a sneaky good signing, though, like maybe on the Trent Sherfield or Mohamed Sanu tier, where they could contribute, if anyone's hurt. But, I see him as a depth piece going into off-season workouts and training camp. Cool. If you guys have any other questions, post them. Make sure it's on YouTube, because if it's on Twitter, I will not see them. All right. Yeah, Ryan, I also have faith that the 49ers will re-sign Deebo. We just got to keep our patience, and not get too freaked out by all this other stuff going on. Do you foresee the Niners moving up in the draft? I think they definitely have the ammo to do it if that's what they want to do. Realistically, they could probably move up to the back end of the first, but I think it's more likely that they do it in later rounds if they wanted to move up. They do a lot of moving back, more so than moving up, and they move back and then they move up on like the next round or round after that. That's usually something that they do. Is that a Jimmy G you're wearing, Steph? No, it's not actually. It does kind of look like it right here, right? But no, I'm actually wearing my Deebo Samuel jersey. This is just show my support, show that I want him to be extended. That's all that is. Actually, funny story about this jersey was that, so I ordered I ordered it when all the Deebo jerseys were out of stock. And so what I did was I ordered one of the like custom ones, right? Like the ones you can just put like your whatever name and number that you want. And I basically just made it a Deebo jersey. Like I put his last name in the back and I chose his number. So I had a Deebo jersey, you know, without having to wait for them to restock it. And I bought it this off season, which is kind of taboo because usually I like to wait until the player gets extended. So if you want to blame me for all of this, go ahead. But the funny thing about it is it's also a youth. I think it's like a youth XL. And so if you look at it, the numbers look hella tiny. And I'm like, is it because it's the like anniversary jersey, or is it because it's the child one, or is it because it's a custom? So let me show you guys really quick. Like, don't the numbers look small to you? I thought they looked small. It doesn't look as small in the like right here, but I think they're tiny. And so honestly, the tags are still on it because I was like wondering if I should return it still or something. But I'm wearing it today because I have to show my support for Deebo, and I do want him to get extended. At the end of the day, I do think he will be extended. So I feel pretty good about it at this moment. All right. If you guys don't have any other questions, I'm probably going to call it right here. I will say that I do have a few shows or episodes planned out, pre-draft episodes. I would like to go over certain prospects and, who could be a good fit for the 49ers. My plan is to have Croc on for the secondary prospects. We're going to look at some DBs that would be good fit for the 49ers, and then also talking to Brad about getting on for the offensive line prospects episode. So yeah, those will be coming out soon, leading up to the draft, and we got an exciting month ahead of us. So, let's try to focus on that, be positive, be patient. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like this video, subscribe if you're not, and peace.